All right. What's up, gamers? Welcome to the losers semifinal of Agility 5. We got Jean-Pierre Pernon versus Rosando La Catastrophe. I only speak English, so just flame me in the comments later. Uh, for our lineups, we got for JPP, Bowen, Crunchy, Falso, Hamano, LMDS, Scartax. So this is a pretty standard lineup for JPP, I would say. Obviously, Scartax is a new addition. He came from Nasty Raid, who won D3 last season. Super strong runner. But as far as everyone else goes, really standard, what I would expect to see. Missing X-Ray. I did hear that he might get subbed in. He just hadn't said can yet at the time we got the lineup. So maybe we'll see X-Ray in the room. Who knows? And then for RK, we got Engel, Louis Guillon, Miguel, Nacon, Roberto, Sliver. Again, super standard lineup. Uh, just what you would expect to see from RK. It's super strong D1 level. Obviously, Sliver got to get the AdSense dollars in there. Got to stream the war. But it seems like a pretty even matchup to me. Obviously, JPP has a lot more experience playing together. RK, new team, newly formed, could have a bit of a team play issue if I had to guess. I don't know. Anything you got to say, Aran?
Yeah, just looking at this RK lineup, something worth noting is that Sebas is not playing. I don't think he has played since RK took an original loss against StarClan 2. This is more of an original RK lineup harkening back to when they were playing in around D1, D2 level before they kind of died or took a break from the game. They have played together before, but I think that this tournament for them has mostly just been a story of them trying to get back what they had, try to prove that they still have that level to compete against D1 teams that are solid.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. This is definitely a lineup that has seen the D1 stress and competition level, and they're ready to be back there again. And really, both of these teams have a lot to prove in this match right now, because JPP didn't have the best record in D1. They had a losing record, if I remember right. So they really want to prove that they still deserve a spot in Division One. And RK, obviously newly formed, they really, really want to be in D1 for their first season back. But I mean, if things don't go well, they could end up in D2. So really, both of these teams have a lot to prove by winning this war. So we should see really high level of competition here.
Yeah, and if I recall back to last season, I think JPP actually was able to defeat Requiem or RE in the regular season. Obviously, RE went on to make it close in the D1 finals against World Friends Star. But in this tournament, they took a bit of a large loss against Requiem, which is why they're down here in the losers bracket in the first place. And if they win this match, then they do have to face Requiem again. So maybe this is their chance to get a bit of revenge on Requiem for putting them in this situation in the first place.
For sure, yeah. And just looking ahead in the tournament schedule here, obviously, like you said, whoever wins this war is going to play Requiem in the losers finals. Whoever wins that war is going to go ahead to play High Definition in the winners finals. So we have full day of Mario Kart today. At least 3 wars, maybe 4. Uh, yeah, we're gonna maybe switch up the casters some way in the middle there, but for now you're stuck with us. So
Yeah,
yeah, we're
we're
just waiting for the room to fill up right now. I don't
yeah,
know.
something interesting to me here is that our point of view for this war is going to be LMDS, who is an inward player. I don't think we've had many inward players as our point of view for casts, so this is going to be really interesting to see a new type of gameplay.
Yeah, you might hear some visceral reactions from me because I've never played Inward, so he's gonna take some lines on me like, "Oh God, LMDS, what are you doing?" But it's actually the right line, and I just don't know about it. So that'll be interesting to see.
All the inward mains out there finally get their time in the spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, as we wait for this room to fill up, I'm very interested, Aran. How's your morning been?
It's my morning has kind of lasted for an entirety of 20 minutes so far, so
Oh, let's go.
Trying to wake up to some Mario Kart.
Some Mario Kart action, agility action. We got the let's go spam. Looks like we're at 11 in room right now.
I
I
do
don't
love
know
me
these
some Let's Go
Mii's.
spam.
I don't know these Mii's very well, so I'm not sure which team is missing right now. Oh
I'm
no.
I'm looking. I see Crunchy, Hamano, Scartax. I think I think they're missing one from JPP here. I see LMDS, and I don't know who the red me is, but I know they're JPP, so I think that's 5 from JPP.
All right. So there you go. Looks like we're missing one from JPP. RK really wants them to join the room.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. We might actually see. Well, Scartax is in the room, so I'm curious who's missing. Um, could be
He
X-Ray.
yeah, could be X-Ray. Bowen isn't in, right?
Yeah, if that red me might be Bowen, but I'm not like I can't remember correctly.
All right. Well, anyway, we'll see when it comes to the first race. Right now, we just got some me staring at the screen, so I guess I'll talk about my morning. I also got up about 20 minutes ago, poured myself a cup of coffee, and now I'm here.
Now you're here watching Nakan spam Let's Go for minutes.
It's really hyping me up, and I really want to go now. You can tell all these me's are super hyped to play. Nacon is really bringing the hype train into the room. That's great to see.
Do we know who was host for this war? Was it RK or JPP? I think
Ah,
it's
I think I would assume it's JPP because RK came from the losers bracket and JPP came from the winners bracket. So that would put them like on top of the seedings. So I would assume JPP is host. I'm not 100% sure though.
yeah, JPP is hosting this war, so I'm gonna assume that they have joined the room pretty quickly and have a majority of the top spots here. Um, Not exactly sure who the host is, but it's gonna be interesting to see which track they opt to pick.
Well, I actually have some inside information here. LMDS has informed me JPP plans to pick Toad Harbor first race. I don't know
It's
if he's just joshing me with that, but that's what he said.
that is an interesting pick. I don't think I've seen Toad Harbor as a pick one in a war in a very long time. I don't think Toad Harbor is a super common running track. They might be picking it because LMDS is somewhere in those top spots, and he has experience on that track as an inward player.
Yeah, it's definitely a super interesting pick. I know that back in Horizon, with LMDS, obviously, we would pick that track as like a last race. We're up 20 and we don't want to lose the race by a lot kind of track.
Well, there's that last player, and it's interesting that it is Falso.
It is Falso. That's a me I actually know. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't recognize that he was the one missing. So anyway, yeah, we picked the track as like a we can't lose this by too much kind of track. It's one where you can kind of get spots everywhere, and they're
Yeah,
not even picking it. So
yeah, you got juked.
I definitely got juked. LMDS was just messing with me. He got me. But for real, we see RWS and TM coming out. So we
Su-
can assume that JPP has a lot of the top spots here.
yeah, these are super. I don't want to call them standard, but for lack of a better word, these are super standard track picks. You know, Wario Stadium for top spots, and then TM for mid or bottom spots. JPP is kind of looking to just run on whatever positions they can make. And then on TM, you have Arcade just looking for shrooms, try to take that original cut.
Yeah, and it looks like, assuming LMDS isn't host, JPP would have 1-3-4 in this room, and we're playing MKS, which is great. Thanks, Falso.
Yeah, thanks Falso for giving us an interesting track to start off. Let's see everybody flex their UMT gliders.
Oh, yeah. We've had a real roller coaster of what track pick we thought was going to happen in these first few minutes of the cast.
Yeah, that's
You
for
thought we
sure.
were going to play TH. We're not playing TH. We're not playing RWS. We are playing Mario Kart Stadium first race. And
It's
LMDS
gonna,
is the host. He's starting in first.
yeah, gonna be opting to. Oh, that Nisk is a little dangerous. Gets bumped into the
Oh,
pipe. It
yeah.
looks like that
Already
Nisk
back in
is.
11th.
Yeah, that Nisk is super dangerous if you get bumped in any way, shape, or form at the start there. And
Well,
LMDS definitely paid for it.
yeah, it looked like the line he was forced to take because of his combo kind of forced him to come into it at a 90-degree angle, and he just kind of got T-boned by RK there.
Yeah, so it's like LMDS is going to be looking for shrooms. Thankfully, this track is pretty easy to catch up on. You have a plethora of cuts he can take, try to get back up to the front.
Looks like it's a bottom 2 for JPP right now. The feed is frozen on my screen. I hope that's
Uh,
not.
It's frozen on my screen as well.
Alright, that's great. So,
It's frozen for both of us.
yeah, let
That's
me
so
let me
weird.
close and reopen the Discord stream here. Y'all can see what's happening, hopefully. But okay, yeah, we're back. Just close and reopen the Discord stream. So right now, LMDS goldening up in 11th, assuming he's gonna take the glider cut here.
He's going for it.
Yep,
I
here we go.
I'm not sure who's in last, but we see that Roberto is down here as well.
I would assume that it's still JPP in last. I think it was Falso there on lap 1.
Pretty sure that Falso plays on Dry Bowser, so we can see Falso is up there in second, maybe.
Ah, right. Yeah, that would be Falso up there. Getting some item lag, it looks like.
Yeah,
And
that guy back there is super far.
looks like it's a DC. We get to see the motion glider gets hit on it and doesn't gain a spot. Think it's going to be a bottom 2 for JPP here. 1-3-4 though. That's definitely good. Balances out those bottom spots. So 1-3-4-9 bottom 2 for JPP. Pretty even race.
Incredibly
It's actually tied.
high race there. Definitely, they got to be happy to get that 1-3-4, especially with someone back there suiciding for shock. You'd assume that they must have had some pretty bad spots heading into it.
Yeah, for sure. And really, it was kind of unfortunate because LMDS was in the back the entire race, did all the strats, and didn't really gain any spots for it. Like, MKS is a track where you would expect you can kind of bag it and get out okay in the end, but it just didn't happen for LMDS that race.
It looks to me like we have a substitution here. I think that's Nor's me in the room, and I don't see Crunchy anymore.
Interesting. So, likely actually a DC first race and couldn't rejoin.
Yeah.
Coming out with no tags, so that's great.
Yeah, if I know that me, that's Nor's. I think maybe someone else, but until that name updates, not too sure. But we're going into Mount Wario. It's definitely solid for 1-3-4, but they have to look out for RK pulling shrooms and trying to take a cut and bump them.
Okay, and it looks like it was actually Bowen getting subbed out, so I would assume that he DC'd first race. Pretty unfortunate from JPP. Luckily, they kept it to a tied race there. Could have been a lot worse playing a 5v6.
Yeah, we see 3-4-5 for JPP. I'm not sure who that top two is, but I'm going to assume at least one of those players has to be JPP. I think that's Sliver in second.
It is. Still no idea who's in first. I think it's a Waluigi Wiggler, so it
Yeah,
really could be anybody.
LMDS just did a great job. He slowed down. I think he horned at least two of RK there, so that was a really great play.
Getting
Setting
Makan with the
JPP
red.
up. JPP here is set up really well. If they're in first, they have almost every spot here in the top six.
What I think LMDS needs to do here, he needs to slow, let his teammate ahead of him, and keep those triple greens. That way RK won't be able to pass them at all.
Yeah, maybe he could land a few backs. Looks like Sliver just got taken out. It's probably a top 3-5 for JPP now. They're looking to set up a huge race. Has to look out. I think Sliver just took out one of his teammates, though.
It could still be RK in first. We're not entirely sure who that is in first place. And they're getting blued. We're going to see him soon.
Yeah, I think a red just came up here. It was JPP, so I think we're looking at a top 4 from JPP right now.
Yeah, super strong from them. RK needs to be pulling a shock here, otherwise JPP is going to get a gigantic race.
Yeah, and they have triple greens in 3-4. They can back at will. I don't think RK is going to be able to take the shroom cut in peace.
If a shock is coming, it's coming here. I
Yeah,
think JPP is good. They're gonna get at least top 2 or 3 this race. It's looking really strong from them.
yeah, they could be able to take out a few of RK with a back or two here. He doesn't opt to go for it, but that is top four for
That is a
JPP.
top 4 for JPP. So top 4, 7-9 for them. Even first race, plus 30 for the second race. That's super strong for JPP.
Yeah, and if you're RK, you just can't be taking races like those even this early. You want to try to build some momentum. Maybe they need to get a shock or something on a bagging track here. But if it's RWS, it's going to be a little rough for them.
Yeah, and really JPP just had the front presence that entire race. They obviously had Sliver in second, but it was just him, so it was pretty easy to hit him out in the end.
Yeah, what might have seemed like a small play, I think actually came up in a big way was LMDS slowing down with that horn before the entrance to the cave. Not only did he horn 2 of them, but he prevented them from getting the UMT into the water, which obviously is very fast. And I think that doing that just gave all of those top spot JPP players uh, wiggle room and a cushion so that they could just focus on taking Sliver out without having to worry about RK coming up from behind.
Yeah, absolutely. JPP did a really good job that race of just keeping RK back. They were holding triple greens in like 4th and 5th place. They were obviously slowing with that horn. Really good job of just making sure RK could not come up to contest them.
Yeah, now we're going on to I think this is the bagging track that RK wants to see. They're going to be going for shock, going to be trying to turn this back on JPP's heads, maybe get at least a decent race off of it.
We are going to see a bagging perspective from LMDS. So
Yeah,
we got some time. Aran, what are you going to have for lunch today?
I am not going to have lunch. Maybe
Oh
I'll
my
have Mario
gosh.
Kart for lunch.
You're going to have Mario Kart for lunch. Love to see it.
Yeah, this thanks to my amazing time zone, all these matches go straight through when I would be having lunch, so it's Mario Kart for today.
Or maybe just have some chips in between wars here.
Yeah,
You see
looking like
LMDS stopping in 7th, picks up a gold and just going to spam it. Wants to stay in back for a little bit longer.
yeah, I saw someone up in build, they had shock. That's I'm not sure who the Roy might be. If that Roy was JPP, then that might have been an RK shock because obviously the blue was still hitting them and LMDS might have just kind of randomly dodged there.
I feel like it might be Scartax. I'm not sure though. I seem to remember Scartax using Roy. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, looking at the pack, that might have been an RK shock. It looks like there's a ton of RK around him. That might be bottom spots for JPP, as they were the ones who did not benefit from that shock.
We do know that at least Falso is up there, and depending on who that Roy is, it could be another JPP. Maybe like a 2-3 for JPP, if I have the Roy right.
Yeah, LMDS pulled triple greens. That's obviously not going to help him keep up with these RK members who have Shooms and
Oof.
Stars.
Misses the double. That's not what you want to do, especially on lap 3.
Yeah, for sure. Another shock. I think
Definitely a
that was
JPP
definitely
shock.
JPP.
Yeah,
They,
LMDS would not have used it as star there otherwise.
That is absolutely huge because it looks like LMDS is just going to waltz into second place. Crunchy getting that first. Looks like a top 3 for JPP. So whoever they had back there getting that shock, that was huge for helping them come back.
Scartax was actually in last. Oh, Miguel is the Roy. Okay. Alright, so we'll remember that for next race. Miguel is the Roy.
Yeah.
So yeah, another super strong race for JPP. At this point, RK is 46 points behind. They need to make something happen or else this war is just going to get away from them.
Yeah, JPP's out here proving that they're a strong overall team. Not only do they have the runners to lock down things like Mount Wario, but they have the bagging potential to pull the shock when they need it and when they want it.
Yeah, definitely an interesting bagging strategy for them. You saw how far back Scartax really was that race. He was not catching up to anybody. So they're going for the suicide bagging kind of strategy here. It worked out for them that race, but I don't know, it's guaranteeing them 12th every single race if they continue to do it.
Yeah, they had that suicide bagger on MKS as well, but it turned out to be a tie race just because they had the runners to get into those top spots.
It's going to be interesting to see if they continue to use that strategy. I mean, it's worked out for them so far, but guaranteeing
Oh,
yourself last every race, I don't know.
it looks like Scartax actually DC was
Was that a
that
bot
might have.
shock?
I don't think it was a bot shock that either it was a bot shock that they knew because Scartax was spectating the room, or the guy in like 11th pulled shock there, which is equally as possible.
I feel like it might have been a bot shock that they knew about because JPP didn't use, or LMDS didn't use his star like right before the shock.
That is true. If that was a bot shock, then that was one huge bot shock. But
Yeah, gigantic play from Scartax getting back into the room and being able to call the shock for them.
yeah, going back another bagging track for RK, gonna see if they can get a different result from the last one.
We do see LMDS in the back once again. A lot of RK back here with him. It looks like 10-11 for JPP, but the other bottom spots seem to all be RK.
Yeah, yes, with a golden, he's just gonna have to be taking cut. He has a bill which is pretty big on this track. He can take the bill strat. No, he just opts to use. That's really interesting to me.
I assume that he just wants to stay in back, still wants to pull a shock, so he just wanted to use the bill as soon as he could. That would be my guess anyway. Gonna take the glider, opting not to take the double, which is interesting.
I'm really wondering what his strategy right now is. Maybe he just wanted to get back up to the front and that's why he used that bill. Or maybe there's someone so far in the back that might be JPP again.
I would have to assume it's been them really far in the back the entire war so far. Forced into his star here. If there's a shock, it's gonna happen now. And yes, there is. That's got to be a JPP shock.
Yeah, that's JPP shock, and it looks like that if that person in last is JPP, then I guess the strategy they've been choosing to implement has been working.
Yeah, it's another top 2 for JPP. Just insane dominance with the shock game this war.
And yes, it was. So that suicide strategy has been getting them consistent shocks so far. And it's interesting to see that suicide strategy been paying off.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing about it is it's a different person suicide bagging every single race. That time it was Hamano, it was Scartax before that, although he DC'd. And same thing with Bo in race 1. Even though there was a DC, he was back there. So they're sending a different person back to get the shock every single race, and they keep pulling it. It's just they have a stranglehold on these shocks. It's RK really doesn't have a chance to catch up when JPP is pulling a shock every single race.
Yeah, and RK has gotten their bagging track, if you can call TM a bagging track. They've gotten it 3 times in a row. So maybe third time is a charm for RK.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm RK at this point, I would just stop picking bagging tracks because JPP has proven that they can pull shocks, and RK has not been able to step up with the shock game. So maybe they just need to try to outrun them, honestly.
Yeah, and if you're at least going to keep going bagging tracks, you might want to try, as your opponent is doing, have someone go back there and sit back there and try to pull shock,
Yeah,
even if you know you're going to get last.
for real, it's been like uncontested so far. RK has just been trying to run everything, and it's not really working.
Yep. Once again, RK is top 2 here. I think they're top 2-5.
Super strong for them so far. LMDS could do some damage with this boomerang, although he does have his teammate up here.
Gets redded. That was
just
a pretty...
huge...
Yeah, that was a pretty solid red coming out from RK, if that was from RK. Took out the threat that was LMDS, because boomerangs can be super devastating to a top 2 or top 3 from a team.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really big play from RK if it was their red. It could have been a team kill. It was a really tight pack. But now we see LMDS staying in the back. I'm not sure who's in last right now.
Yeah, this is actually 678 from JPP, 6789. So there's once again a packed amount of JPP back here in bottom spots, looking like they're going for shock again, possibly.
Yeah, a JPP shock here would be gigantic. I think RK still has a lot of the top spots. JPP is in these middle bottom spots. A lot of them could pull dodges and get up to the front on the glider here.
Yeah, at this point it's looking like possibly a top 3 from RK. We have Falso and LMDS. LMDS taking cut. He has triple greens.
That was really close. I don't know how he didn't get hit there.
Yeah, and
Gonna
then he
fire him
pulled the
out.
fire. That was so well done by DS to just survive and then hit the fireball on him.
It's still a lot of RK up in the top here. One of them's gonna get blued. Or no, it actually gets horned.
Nope. Yeah, I think this might be a top 3 for RK. Not
This
much
is
LMDS can do.
this is definitely the comeback that RK needs right now.
With that,
Did he fail?
it looks like an RK top 4 possibly. Nope.
Hamano coming into third. That's JPP needed to salvage something there, but still a really good race for RK. It was plus 12 for them, so that could be the start of a comeback for them, which they desperately need right now.
Yeah, that was really interesting because I think that race was just a parody of the other races. The only difference is that TM is a little more runner friendly than Dry or maybe even RMC. But JPP just didn't get the shock from Scartax there, and RK actually did hold their top spots, at least getting that top 2 for sure.
For sure. At this point, RK has a game plan, right? They need to run. They need to hope that JPP doesn't pull a shock because they've just proven that when they have top spots, they have the ability to keep them.
Looks like JPP is gonna opt for Sweet Sweet Canyon. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking they're going that for that huge TS spot. They want to just pull shock on that track, but they're not going to get it. RK is finally going to get a crack at one of their running tracks. Honestly, I think a signature track for RK in Ice Ice Outpost.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what JPP can do here. Obviously, RK has top 2-4 right now. If JPP isn't careful, they're going to be super dominant on running here.
Yeah, Ice Ice Outpost being a track that RK has been picking for a long time. I don't think it's a super common track, so they definitely have the home field advantage on it.
Going to be actually just first for RK, and it's taken out already, so LMDS is going to be in first place. Oh my gosh. Got bumped off of the Nisk.
Yeah, LMDS bumped off. That's could be a product of having to take a little bit of a different line than all of your outward compatriots.
Yeah, and I think it was his teammate that ended up bumping him off at the end, so probably could have been avoided with a little bit better communication. Just really unfortunate to see.
Yeah, but getting this back mid pack perspective from LMDS, I see three. I think I've seen 3 RK down here already. So you
Yeah.
kind of wonder what the state of their top spots are right now.
Blue's coming out for Falso. We'll see if he's able to dodge it somehow. He's actually dropping out, so some Waluigi's going to take it.
Yeah, that might have been an RK person in second, and if it was, then that's pretty huge for JPP because I think I see at least, was it 4 or 5 RK people back here in these bottom spots?
Yeah, and LMDS coming back up in the bill. RK is a lot of bottom spots right now, so really their top spots on their track pick, it's coming back to bite them unless they can pull a shock. RK is going to be stuck in these bottom spots.
Yeah, I see Falso just got to take out, so maybe there's someone up there in that top 3 for RK. Miguel is in 5th. He's holding a star, but
Ooh. I'm not sure whose shock that was. I think it
think
was
I just
RK.
yeah, that might have been an RK shock. That was a long time coming. They finally were able to pull it. If that was theirs, I saw Miguel. It looks like he dodged up into first. I think the other one who dodged was Lugion, who's now in second place, most likely.
Yeah, and RK desperately needed that shock, both for this race and for the course of the war.
Yeah, and that just was what they wanted, what they needed in that situation. RK getting a top 2 and then a bottom 2 for JPP.
Yeah, plus 20 race for RK. So, as dominant as this was for JPP at the beginning of the war, RK is kind of showing them the same thing right now.
Yeah, what we saw from RK was kind of what JPP has been doing. JPP opted to take them out, get a pretty commanding run there, but RK this time was able to get the shock. I think they were pretty far back there this time, and it worked out. It paid off.
Yeah, JPP making the same mistake that RK was in the earlier races of just letting them suicide bag without any contestment. So RK pulled the shock. They pulled up into top spots and they won the race by 20.
Yep. And then NBC now for RK. It's going to be interesting. JPP can get shrooms because I'm pretty sure RK is top 2, maybe top 5 or something. But there are some JPP members up there who could stand to kind of interrupt their top 2 that they want to get going here.
Yeah, I think a JPP member could pull a shroom here if they're lucky. If
LMDS obviously going to be at a bit of a disadvantage here being an inward. The S turn is going to be a little nasty, but he's the guy got the shroom and now is in second, I think.
Yeah, so it's going to be a real challenge for him to stay up in the top here and contest their top spots. We do see Nors also up here. Gotta watch out for that triple green.
Yeah, Nakan with the 1 green now. LMDS, yep, I think he was able to. Nope.
I think he did get him, yeah. Yeah, that's
Yep.
Skartax. So that's top 2 for JPP. Oh, he gets boomeranged out right away as I say it. So he's back down to 7th.
I think we saw some pretty solid pack play from RK there, just even able to answer to the threats from JPP at the start there.
So I think that's Skartax still in first. Don't know who any of the other Waluigis are. Falso is up there somewhere, maybe in 5th or 6th. But other than that, it looks pretty mixed right now.
Really interesting to see here that there's like a bottom 3 established back there.
This could be both of the teams recognizing how important shock is in this war and staying back with each other.
Yep, and there is a shock.
I
Not
think
exactly.
I think that's
that
an
was
RK,
an RK,
shock.
yeah.
Yeah,
Once
Miguel
again,
dodged. It got RK before boxes.
it's interesting to see that RK is now the one who is able to get these shocks. Might just be a toss-up for these two teams.
The spots are still pretty mixed back here. Don't know who's in first anymore. It could still be Skartax, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, one of RK coming up in a bill. I certainly am led to believe that that might be Skartax in first still, just because he was that sole guy in first. He might have had a chance to extend his breakaway after the shock, but it also could be an RK member dodging. A horn came out that took out so many people.
Oh, LMDS getting starred. He could have done a lot of damage with those triple reds, but unfortunately gets sent back to 10th. It's going to be 10-11 for JPP. Skartax was in first, so 1-3. And it's actually another tied race.
Yeah, Shock just didn't do anything to really mess up with Skartax being in first. If anything, it might have actually helped him cement his first place front run. At the end of that race, we saw him quite a ways ahead of the pack. RK being the mid spots, but I think JPP might have pulled a horn there. I saw at least 2 RK might have taken a horn there, which was pretty huge for JPP, if so.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot happening in that race in the pack that kind of made everything a toss-up in the end. I think, if anything, that race cemented how strong of a runner Skartax really is. He kind of came out of nowhere, got some insane time trials, obviously played very well in Nasty Raid last season, had kind of a free run on that track. No one ever really contested him.
Yeah, it's super interesting to see that Skartax has been back there for Shock at least once, maybe even twice. I know he DC'd one of those times, but he has been going back there for Shock, but he still also has the ability to be able to extend that lead and hold that lead as a runner.
DKJ coming out, LMDS even worse of a disadvantage than he had on NBC. Obviously can't take the super bounce, so he's going to get outlined every lap.
Yeah, he's probably just going to be hoping that he can use shrooms or something to his advantage, try to get up there with his JPP mates who can kind of hold RK back.
And he did use the shrooms to his advantage there. He's up in 4th, gained some spots since the beginning of the race.
Pulled out triple nanas. He opted to back them all. That was interesting. But I guess JPP is at least top 3 here.
Yeah, it is a top 3 for JPP with LMDS trailing in 3rd. Oh, Falso got taken out. So
Yeah,
it's
that
just
fire.
a top 2 now.
Looks like LMDS landed a back on one of them, though. He's going to have to be landing these back spams if he doesn't want to just get caught up on. Obviously not able to take super bounce, as you noted.
Yeah, and you see he did get caught up on there. RK is a lot closer to him now than they were before. Oh, and he gets banana snipe. That's deadly from RK.
Yeah, that was one hell of a banana snipe, too. Looks like they combined that fire from the earlier part of that lap with a Nana. Now they are 2-3 and looking to take out first.
Super strong from RK there. That was an excellent banana snipe. So it's a 1-4-5 for JPP still, but RK definitely has that presence in 2-3. Roberto with the plant. LMDS boomeranged him just to get planted. Not what you want to see. He's down in ninth.
That was an interesting choice, but I think because of that, he was able to fire two of RK who had shrooms, able to hold them back a little bit.
It's a lot of bottom spots for JPP right now. I know Falso is back here. He's one of those bills.
Yeah, and JPP looking like at least 8, 9, 10 here. I think they might still be holding out in first unless that first place got taken out by the 2-3 from RK.
I think it is still JPP in first.
I
Oh
think
no,
he
they
just
got hit.
taken out. That's
Miguel's
what
getting
RK
first
wanted.
this race. This is really good for RK. JPP is all of these back spots.
Yeah, and they are at least getting last. Saw two RK people back there, but still a
9,
1,
10,
3,
11 for
4.
RK.
Yeah.
That was still a winning race for them. Only +4. Not nearly as strong as I thought it was.
Yeah, we saw early from that race that there was a few guys from RK up there, and the rest of them were just kind of having to duke it out with JPP in the mid spot. So although they were able to take out first in that battle up in the front, it looks like that mid spots battle did not work out for them. Them getting that 9, 10, 11, which obviously softens the blow a bit for JPP.
For sure. But still a winning race for RK. JPP is +20 with 4 races left. This is still anybody's war. I think even though JPP was very dominant at the beginning of this, RK has proven that they are able to compete with them. The past 4 races, the worst they've done is tied. It's been +12, +20, +0, +4 for RK. So they have proven that they are able to keep up with JPP. Anybody could win this war.
RK is just clawing at that lead that JPP established early, and it is lessening, but they still have 4 races left, and they have to reduce that lead. They have to get themselves a few more good races here.
Now, this is a track that JPP has picked a few times. I would assume it's one that they're very confident on.
Yeah, already looking at the back, I think that my hunch was right. It looks like JPP might have been picking that track to go for a shock game with that huge glider, offering up a very, very distinct target shock spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think almost as strong would be shocking on the shortcut at the end.
Yeah, I agree. If they can get a few dodges and catch one of the other team in a shortcut, then it is just a huge advantage and a washout for them. But I see 2 people back there. I'm going to assume that RK got the draft from the first few races and have sent someone back there to go back and bag with JPP.
Oh my gosh, LMDS getting hit off the glider. That's horrible for him.
Yeah,
Super slowly.
that hit
Oh
on the
no.
glider kind of just showing how dangerous a TS can be on the track. It takes you so long to recover if you get hit off that glider.
So we have at least 2 JPP back here. And LMDS actually has shock after a blue, so
Yeah, LMDS
not either
has
one of the
shock.
baggers who pulled it.
One of those baggers might still actually pull shock, which could be dangerous here, but if they can get a good TS on RK, it's going to be massive for JPP. It's going to be exactly what they wanted.
The blue is out. Shock could come any second here. Oh my gosh, LMDS! No! Oh, he gets smart bounced by a green thrown like 20 years ago. He's so far back. The bottom 3 is just
Yeah.
done this race.
Something super interesting, actually. He did take that green. They might have been planning to use the glider there, but I think what they wanted to do was what they just did and what you noted at the start. They wanted to wait until this section after boxes where RK might want to take cut and just dodge them up and take cut themselves.
It's actually still a lot of bottom spots for JPP. It looks like it's going to be a 9, 10, 11 for them. Don't know what's happening in the front.
They got that top 3 though.
Top 3, 9, 10, 11 for JPP. That's exactly what they needed. Now they're +30 with 3 races left. RK is going to have to kind of work a miracle to take this war back at this point.
Yeah, RK obviously needs winning races here, but just going back to that track pick, Sweet Sweet Canyon, I think JPP was so confident that they would pull the shock there, and it worked. Even though LMDS took that green, I think they were opting just to get themselves into those boxes, maybe get a few dodges and take cut and get top 3, and it worked out exactly to plan.
Man, I felt so bad for LMDS that race. He got hit by so much stuff that like wasn't even meant to target him. He was just getting hit left and right. I mean, it led him to pull shock and it got them top 3, but you know he's mad after that.
Yeah, he was kind of optimizing those item pulls back there, pulling blue, then shock, then blue.
For sure. But oh man, that smart bounce hurt my soul. Let's see. Stream is currently frozen for me. Okay, we're back. We're not back. Let's see.
Yeah,
All right, cool. All right,
it's
so we got 3 races left. Not sure what's happening right now. We're either playing ED or RWS or any other of the 48 tracks because there was a random pick. Oh, and it looks like LMDS's stream actually crashed. If there's any other
oh, that's
perspectives,
unfortunate.
I don't know if there's any other perspectives in play right now.
Maybe Miguel might.
I think Miguel might have been streaming with Call. I don't know. Muting the stream is better than nothing. If if someone is able to like post a link to someone streaming in the Twitch chat or something, would be appreciated. Would love to see the end of this war.
Yeah, it's definitely a close one, and we just have to bite our tongues and hope we can get a perspective in this room on those final 3 races.
Just continuing the gameplay analysis. I think both teams have adapted to each other's playing styles really well this war.
Yeah, for sure.
As we've
We
noted many times, JPP at the beginning super dominant with the shocks, RK coming to meet them, and by the end, both of the teams are doing what they need to do to cancel each other out.
Yeah, the JPP kind of giving themselves a leg up in these. Okay, I think we're
All right,
going to.
cool. So we're watching Miguel now. The other Roy in the room. We're on lap 3 of Electrodrome. Scartax is in second. Don't know who's in first. Miguel getting redded out. Someone in a ghost with triple reds, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think this is too good for RK unless they are in that first spot. I saw like at least a 2-3 perhaps for JPP.
It looks pretty good for JPP, but not dominant. I think RK could take the cut here and get some top spots out of it.
I think Crunchy just got hit by that blue, so it might be a mid spot kind of race for RK, but I think that's a top 2 for JPP. No, Ingo came up there in the cut. That's actually a good race for RK.
Yeah, that's +8 for RK. So JPP up 22 with 2 left. Unfortunate that we couldn't see the majority of that race. At least we got the end of it.
Yeah, thankfully, I think we have a new point of view for the end of this war. It's still a nail biter. We didn't miss too much.
Yeah, we can assume that Electrodrome race was super boring. Y'all didn't miss much.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to reiterate, we're watching RK's point of view now. This is Miguel,
Yeah,
the other Roy.
Yeah, another unique perspective. Not one of the seas of Waluigi's in the room.
We've been super lucky to get both Roys this war.
Interesting track pick from JPP. We saw them mix it up with Sweet Sweet Canyon, and now they're trying to mix it up again with Super Bell, and we are going to go to Super Bell. This is a not too common track in the competitive scene.
I'm going to be honest. I really like this track for JPP. JPP has proven that they can pull shock when they need it. This is definitely a shock track. JPP could put it away right here.
Yeah, and something I think that is interesting that I've noted and we've noted from JPP is that they don't have a specific bagger. They don't have a specific runner. They are showing how even they are. Whoever's in the front goes to the front, and if they need someone in the back, I think we do see someone far in the back already. That suicide strategy that JPP has been going for. I'm going to
Could be
assume,
either team.
yeah, but my best guess at this point is that's going to be someone from JPP just because it's that strategy that they sort of pioneered at the starting few races.
Yeah, you have to assume they had all the bottom spots coming into it.
see. I think that's a 2-3 from RK.
Two
Nors
three
is in
four, yeah.
first. He is on Streetle. I don't think that's too bad on this track.
No, there's no anti-gravity here. He's not losing too much, but you can see Miguel is catching up to him. Could just be a coin advantage. Oh, he's
Ooh,
getting trailed for it.
I'm, it looks like he actually just took out two people,
Oh
kind of
my
clutching
gosh.
up there.
That's the
But
kind of thing that tilts you
LMDS.
to no end. Driving
Uh,
faster than someone and getting trailed for it. Oh no.
it looks like he might have just backed his teammate there. Wait, no, that back definitely coming out from JPP. It got one of RK, but RK is still 2-3.
1-4 for JPP. LMDS still has triple somethings.
Yeah, if you're RK at this point, you want Sliver to either pull a red, maybe pull a bomb. That Nana having to go into the wall to avoid it. I
Hey,
think
I
we gotta.
mean,
What works works, you know.
yeah, he had a shroom. He recovered.
But I think Oh my
Oh, it's
God, that's
triple reds from
lethal.
LMDS. This is going to change the entire race. Should be able to get both of the RK members out here,
Yeah,
and he
that
does.
that
Back in the
bomb
bomb,
too.
too.
And then a Bill. I think that might be the death knell for RK. Those triple reds, and then a Bill from Crunchy hitting Sliver on the line
RK is.
too.
That's a lot of RK in the middle. Should be a top two for JPP. Top
Top
three
three,
JPP.
top three, 7-8s. Is that it for RK?
JPP is plus 38 with one left. So mathematically, it's not over, but it's over. This should be a win for JPP, unless they toss for content, I guess. But looking
Honestly, that
like looking
yeah,
like we're probably gonna see JPP versus Requiem in the next round.
a chance at redemption for JPP after that commanding win from Requiem the first time they played. If and when JPP does hold out, they get their shot back at Requiem again, who obviously put them here in the first place. I think there's only 5 players in the room for JPP. It's a little interesting, but I don't think it's going to matter too much, other than maybe there might be a bot shock.
I think I think RK only had a chance if it picked Big Blue, because Big Blue is a top six track.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
But
I
because
just
we're playing RWS with JPP in the front, it this looks like it's over for RK.
yeah, barring any miracles, I think we might just see JPP able to hold out at least first here, secure them this match against Requiem. I kind of want to go back a bit to that Super Bell race, which was really interesting because we saw something that we haven't really been seeing too much. There was no shock on that race. It was simply just, I think it was Norris in first, showing that he is up to the same level as the rest of his JPP teammates, and just him and LMDS working together to destroy RK's 2-3.
Absolutely. The deciding factor on that race was absolutely LMDS's triple reds in fourth. If he hadn't
Yeah.
pulled those, I think RK could have pulled a lot better race out of that.
Yeah. We saw, RK was, I think, 2-3-4, maybe even 2-3-4-5, but Nors landed a back spam on the guy in second, giving himself a little bit more of a breakaway. And then that breakaway for Nors allowed LMDS to pull a really brutal combo. I think he pulled Shroom triple reds and just have at it.
RK is just killing each other in the back here. I've seen like 4 team kills in the past 10 seconds. We're chilling. I mean, at this point, the war is
Yeah, I
over.
think
We're just playing.
he threw a red at his teammate, but I mean, RK just probably mentally defeated after that one. They put up a really good fight, but JPP just had the upper hand that entire war. And every time RK tried to give a thrust for life, a thrust for the win, uh, JPP answered saying, "No, this is our war. We're winning. Uh, you guys don't have a chance."
For sure. I do have to hand it to RK though. They were able to put up a fight. They really responded well to what JPP was doing. It just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, I honestly might. I'm thinking we might see a top 5 and then bot from JPP, but I'm not sure.
And It is.
Yep, top
Yep.
5 bot, but I don't think RK was even trying that race. They were just
No.
done.
This is a war that is a lot closer than it looked on paper. It ends up being a plus 66 for JPP. I think if race 11 went differently, it could have very easily been a win for RK.
Yeah,
The
but
final score does not tell you everything in this war for sure.
we get to see some screenshot deletion from Miguel after that war, probably wanting to erase all memory.
You know what? I'm proud of him for this. I'm definitely the kind of person that lets my screenshots get up to 1,000 and then I gotta delete all of them in one sitting. That's not Miguel. He stays on top of it.
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, you said I think that you were confident and you liked that pick of DSBS for JPP, and hey, it worked out really well. So you called it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, I gotta hand it to RK. They really stayed in it this war, in a war that I think they were probably expected not to win. It was going to be close, but I think JPP always kind of had the upper hand on paper in this war. They did pull it out in the end. RK stayed in it. They proved that they belong in one of the top divisions with this war.
Yeah, for sure. JPP obviously with D1 experience. RK with D1 experience as well, but more of a newer team, still trying to sort out like what lineups they're supposed to be playing, what their chemistry is going to be, what their team play is going to be. A team that has had a bit of controversy. A few of their top players, you know, have been not playing. You know, we don't see Sebas here, for example, and he's definitely considered a premier player in the community, at least in terms of D2, D1. He's pretty solid, not playing, obviously. So RK is still got a ways to go, but I think that RK did show that they have what it takes to compete at this level as well. Uh, we typically don't see that adaptability of being able to respond to another team's strategy and try to counter it with your own, which is what RK did. They did wind up getting a few shocks there in the middle of the race of the war, rather.
Yeah, for sure. Like in the middle of the war, RK was coming back. They had 4 or 5 winning races in a row. It was looking like they were going to be able to take it back. So again, if those last 2 races went differently, maybe if RK got their track pick race 11, we could have seen RK in the losers finals right now.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to those confident JPP track picks. You can get your track pick, but you have to have a game plan on it. If you pick a track like Sweet Sweet Canyon or DSBS, uh, Super Bowl, and you don't have a game plan for one of those, then it can get flipped on your head and it can go really poorly. But JPP, I think what we saw on Sweet Sweet was they got shocked like they intended. They had 2 people back there, uh, and then on Super Bowl, they didn't get shocked, but they still had those people who ran. I think Nor's uh, was an original runner, and he just held that top spot. So even though no shock came, him and LMDS were able to secure at least a top 2
Yeah, yeah. And
situation there.
coming into the next war, something interesting with Requiem. I know yesterday they did not use their best lineup. They used a lineup that was, I think, missing Daxx and Power,
Hmm.
and it led to them going like minus 150 or something against HD. So I don't want to say that this is going to come down to lineup, but if Requiem throws out a non-ideal lineup, I think JPP could have a much greater chance of taking this war.
Yeah, obviously, no disrespect to Les or JB. They are, solid players in Division One, but uh, obviously, Power and Dax are very, very well respected players. They have a ton of experience. They are very technically skilled. They are definitely some of the best technical players on Requiem. So missing those, they had to come up with maybe a new strategy because HD is a very hard team and maybe even a little underrated based on their results. But I just don't think Requiem had what it took to take down the lineup that HD fielded with their own.
Yeah, so we'll see what they put out in about 5 minutes here. I think we're going to take about a 5 minute break, so we'll see you when the next room opens.
Yep.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Losers Finals, Agility 5. This time we got JPP versus Requiem. Obviously, we just saw JPP take a great win against RK. Looks like they're rolling with the same lineup that they started with. We still have Bowen on the screen. I'm not sure if he's actually going to end up playing. He did get subbed out race 1 last war. But other than that, I think it's going to be mostly the same lineup again. And this time we got Requiem coming in. We got Daxx, who we were actually watching stream. Dam, Les, Saru, Toad, Tricky. So this is a pretty standard Requiem lineup, I would say. Other than Les in for power, I guess he just can't or something. Very capable sub. Obviously not like the absolute strongest possible Requiem lineup. Still very strong. They're an amazing team. Missing power shouldn't like absolutely kill them. Just something to note that it's not like 100% MKU finals lineup for Requiem.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because Les and Power, I think, in my opinion, are two completely different types of players. Les obviously more of a shot caller, strategist. He's more of a pack player, and Power obviously very skilled in running. He's a technical player. He's very good at what he does. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't think it's going to have too much of an impact on Requiem, in my opinion, because Les should be able to make up for Power being gone with his own skill set. I actually think it might lend a bit to Requiem in this case, because if we remember back to JPP's strategy, I believe against RK they were going for those shocks, right? And I think that players like Les and maybe Tricky could be able to go back and counter those shocks in this match, and we are going to jump right into it.
Right, again, we are watching Dax's point of view, so we're watching a Requiem stream. Coming out with RWS right out the gate. Looks like they have all the top spots.
Yeah, JPP with the culture, they're going to do what they did against RK and started out with MKS.
Yeah, honestly, if we remember back, it wasn't their best race against RK when they picked MKS. It was a tied race for them. But really, they had 3 of their members stuck in the back the entire time. So it's interesting to see that they're going with it again.
They do not get it. It is RWS with RE, Requiem. I think they are in top 5. That is going to be ugly.
Super strong start for Requiem already, before the first race has even started. Hopefully they're going to be able to keep all these top spots, because if they do, they're going to be able to just run away with the war from the beginning, honestly.
Yeah, I think Les is the me. He has the Animal Crossing amiibo suit on. Man of culture, I see.
Falso is already very far back. JPP running with the same strategy that they were last war.
Daxx?
Daxx, you good, bro?
still a top 2. Still a top 2 from Requiem. Daxx kind of having a little oopsie.
LMDS there.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
He trails LMDS for it. So he's establishing, looks like a 2-3 for RE because someone from JPP streamed up.
Daxx running into the off-road too. These are not the kind of driving mistakes that we would expect from someone like Daxx.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a first match nerves or something, but he has his teammates in RE to fall back upon, and they are definitely up there still.
It looks like it's just 3rd for JPP right now. Daxx not really playing anything to help, and he gets hit out, so 3-4-5 for JPP now.
Yeah, 3-4-5 is something they can work with. I think looking at the map, that top 2, I think from RE is just gone. But They might just want to hold out in that 3-4-5, try to secure at least some mid spots to lessen the blow.
And that has to be a DC for Falso. Wait, he's in like 8th? What? Falso, what?
No,
Did you see how
I
far
think that
back
was
he was?
yeah. I think that was some. It was either minimap lag or Falso is just super fast. But
Falso's just insanely fast. He's playing on 5,000 CC. Just unbeatable.
Daxx getting taken out by JPP, and ugh,
Ugh,
that's not what you
Dax.
want to see. I
This has
think
to just be not warming up beforehand, right? He's made some really bad driving mistakes this
yeah,
race.
Les getting redded and RE is already in last. So even though RE might have just gotten the top 2, I think they're getting maybe an 8, 10, 12.
Just won
Bottom
4 for
3.
RE.
That was
JPP's gonna win
Saru
this
back
race
there.
pretty commandingly. It's plus 12 for JPP.
Yeah, and I guess there were two dry Bowsers in their room. The guy that you noticed going back there was Saru. Maybe he DC'd.
Maybe.
I think
Interesting.
he did DC. So a DC from Saru there, and then obviously Daxx having a little bit of an oopsie on the ramp strat,
Yeah.
leaving RE in top 2, and it looks like JPP was able to establish their mid spots and then either shroom up or take out the guy in second, leaving Requiem bottom 3 and Dayam as kind of one of their only guys finishing first.
Yeah, it was really strong from JPP there. Again, with Requiem starting in top 5, getting any kind of leeway on RWS is super good.
Well, I just saw on the screen it looked like Requiem actually had 2 DCs. That's just really, really
Oof.
unfortunate. Obviously, the race still counts. Not much they can do about it, but if you're starting top 5 and you have 2 DCs, that's got to be demoralizing.
Yeah, that's super unfortunate for Requiem. They have 11 races to make it back. It's not the end of the world for them. It was my minus 12 race.
Already,
Oh,
well,
Dax. Come on, man.
I think Daxx actually bumping Les off in the process there as well.
Just
Bottom 3 from Requiem.
it's not going well for Dax specifically so far this war.
Dan back here now too. And as I said, I think we do see Les going for the shot. He said that he was going to be kind of that type of player. Kind of the same strategy JPP used against RK. It's going to be interesting to see if it works for Requiem.
And honestly, good on Les here because based on what we've seen from Requiem so far this race, they need shock.
Yeah,
It's a lot of Requiem in the back.
This looks to me to be maybe Toad is up there, but it's at least a 1-3-4 for JPP.
Yeah, LMDS, only Roy in the room, he's in first.
Daxx getting hit off there, I think, by triple greens from, was that Nors?
Whoa!
Oh my god. Oh!
Dodging the shot! Oh, he got back for it!
That was a roller.
No!
That was a roller coaster of emotions there. Daxx falling off, dodging shock, and then getting back spammed. That I'm not sure who that shot came out from.
That could not have been planned. There's no chance that was planned.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
That might have been actually JPP. I think Falso might have pulled it.
Yeah, and Dax is just getting the short end of the stick every turn so far this war. It's not going great.
He has been making mistakes, but at the same time, he has been getting pretty killed by items as well. He got those triple greens that hit him off the track. Obviously, that's super unfortunate, and well played by JPP to land that hit.
LMDS still in first here. Don't know who's in 2-3. Could be either team. Falso's got to be careful with those. Yeah.
That's so risky to take that.
Yeah, coming into last place. I think
that's a
top 3 for JPP. Yeah. I think what Dax had to do there, he had to take a page out of JP Givener's book and assume total control there. Don't go for the cut. Sure, you might have gained a spot from taking the cut, but those triple greens were just way too risky, and it came back to bite him. He got last that race.
Yeah, and another super commanding race for JPP. I want to assume that shock actually came from Falso being back there and pulling it, and not from Les.
Yeah, JPP is just really dominant so far this war. That was a plus 18 race. They're plus 30 after 2. Not what I
Yeah,
expected to see, honestly.
obviously getting their pick here. Sunshine Airport, it's a bit of a shock track. They have the 2 gliders, which are dangerous if for either team who gets shock, but it's still a pretty strong runner. There's a chance for some shrooms in the cut, but I think at least LMDS should be fine here. It's going to be interesting to see if someone from RE or someone from JPP goes back.
Yeah, this is a track where you really want to pull shock, but you also don't want a shock bag. Because
Yeah, sure.
it's like pretty strong as a runner, and it's hard to catch up, but it's also really strong to pull shock on. So if someone wants to commit to pulling shock, they're going to need to basically suicide bag.
Daxx take cut here. He has Tricky behind him with a red to support. I think he gets a draft. LMDS is in first with a Nana. Daxx kind of having to hope to take him out here pretty quickly because I think JPP is at least one of those spots behind him. Has to be scared about that. LMDS dropping a Nana. He had another one.
So Dax giving LMDS a lot of pressure here. He can't throw this banana.
Yeah, Daxx actually has free roam here. Even though he gets a coin, he should still be fine. When you look behind him, I think I saw that this is at least a 2-3 from RE.
Throwing the red, it hits the tire. Still 2-3 for Requiem. Doesn't look like Tricky has anything. So LMDS is still in first with this banana.
Banana
Drops
tight.
it tight. Missed
He
both
did a
of
good
them.
job avoiding that. Might go for something here. No, he might just opt to chain reds. I think I see a player all the way back there in last. I'm going to assume that that is JPP once more going for the strategy.
Going for the chain on LMDS. He did have protection. Pulls
I think
another
that was
red.
a late chain.
And
I-
LMDS has a coin, so he could hit him out here.
I'm pretty sure LMDS was able to get the chain there actually because he threw that red late, early rather, and I think LMDS trailed and got into the set, so he probably has protection behind that coin. Yup.
Ooh, TS from JPP. That was really textbook target shock for them.
Yeah,
You
that
see
was-
Scartax coming into second, top 2 for them.
Looks like Saru might have gotten a dodge off though. He with a golden there, but everyone else from JPP just dodging there, or at least getting onto the glider. A red came out. It got Nors, so a little damage control perhaps from Requiem, but that top 3 once again.
And it's going to be a plus 8 race for JPP here. Requiem just unable to get LMDS out of first, and JPP was able to pull some other people up with the shock. Another top 3 for them.
Yeah, LMDS was completely chilling in first after they TS'd basically most of the Requiem presence behind him. We saw the suicide strategy once again pay off for JPP. Even though JPP, I think they got 9, 10, 12, they still got that top 3, which is winning the race outright. So the strategy worked again, and they were able to pull shock on Sunshine Airport and go for that TS.
Twisted Mansion coming out for Requiem. This is exactly the kind of track you need. I think in best case scenario, you could have 3 or 4 people from Requiem pulling shrooms.
Yeah, for sure. They're gonna have to establish a front presence if you're Requiem pretty soon, because obviously LMDS, if he's still in a top spot after this first turn, he should be running. But I think Dame and Daxx both with shrooms here. They're gonna be top 2 probably starting off.
Yeah, Dax pulling up into first. It looks like LMDS is still second.
Nope, I think LMDS just got taken out by Les, perhaps. If
Yeah, it
so,
looks
that's
like he
pretty
did.
huge.
Top 3 for Requiem starting off. So yeah, exactly what they wanted to happen. They were able to pull shrooms at the beginning, come into top spots.
I think I saw, yeah, the Scartax is in third maybe, but Daxx at the very least is safe up here in first for the time being.
Yeah, just really good team play from Requiem so far this race. Obviously, Dax leaving the doubles for his teammates, able to kind of control all the top spots instead of just hoarding them for himself.
And that
Really good.
Bowser we see in third, or actually he just got taken out, but I think that's Dame now in third. So Requiem is in top 3 here. A
Blue's
blue
coming
coming out.
out. Should be able to get him on the boost pads. Not going to do too much damage.
Yeah, he gets that boost pad. And now Les with a Schumann first.
Still a top 2 for Requiem. Blue didn't do too much damage.
Yeah, I think we're seeing in last place we have Tricky, and LMDS might be in 11th. It's a top 3 from Requiem. Oh, there it is.
Shock coming out. That's definitely a JPP shock. It got Requiem after set. Choosing not to TS, which I think is a really good and interesting play, because it's not
Yeah,
something that Requiem would be expecting.
TS is pretty predictable in a way. A blue coming out actually.
It looks like
Whoa.
Skartax just redded his teammate. I'm not sure if that was Skartax's red, but it might have been.
I have no clue what just happened. I think the blue might have hit 2 of them there, and that is a mistake that is brutal because it is going to be a top 2 from Requiem, very likely.
Super unfortunate for JPP. They kind of had that race in the bag if nothing bad happened there. But again, the blue coming out, the red coming from somewhere. I think it might have been Skartax.
Was that Nors and Skartax in top 2 there?
It might have been. Did they go all the way to bottom 2?
I think they got bottom 2 off of
Oh
that.
my gosh. That's really unfortunate.
They-
Requiem
they-
finally able to make some ground back. Plus 22 race for them.
Yeah, JPP got that shock again, but this time they just made a really critical error that you can't be making. They kind of got on top of each other when the blue was coming, and the blue took both of those top 2 out, I think, from the looks of it.
Yeah, so Requiem coming out with a Hyrule Circuit now. Just want to establish that front presence and keep it for the rest of the war if they can.
Yeah, for sure. Hyrule Circuit going to be a go-to track when they have top 2, and then they should have some support in those middle spots. Looks like JPP is opting to go with a bagging track, which they get. Going to be using the tried and true shock strategy for them, which has been working. Fair play. It's going to be interesting to see if they can replicate it again, though.
I mean, as we know, Requiem also has some very strong shock baggers. Thinking about Tricky specifically, obviously, if you remember back to MKU finals, he did a lot of work with the shocks.
Yeah, Tricky was one of those players that we saw back there for shock quite often in the finals, but I haven't seen it so much this time. I think now he is back there, though, and he was back there on TM, so that might just be the new norm for the rest of this war.
Yeah, Tricky staying back there with a Waluigi. Not sure who that is. You can see Les is kind of back there. Top 2 for Requiem.
Yeah, from what I saw, I think that's going to be LMDS, probably back there in 11th or something. So it might be half and half right now between JPP and Requiem going for the shock.
Yeah, could be. There's actually a lot of top spots from JPP right now. I think
Dame's-
Requiem is still in first, but
Yeah.
JPP could have 2, 3, 4.
And we saw Dame just getting taken out right there by this backs from Skartax, giving JPP some room to work with. I think we have a Requiem. Actually, Requiem might just be alone in first at this point. I think
Choosing
it's
to back
Toad.
up here.
There might be a shock here, maybe.
It would have to be.
I don't see anything from Les yet, but maybe it's after.
I don't think it would be worth slowing there if Requiem didn't have a shock. And he's holding the star, so I think definitely a shock from Requiem is coming out. Yeah, there it is.
That I think we might have seen just LMDS dodge in first there, though. That's going to be a first for LMDS.
Requiem is
rest of-
actually bottom everything here. That shock might have been too little too late.
Yeah, I saw Dame dodge up. Dame is probably securing second. I mean, he
Dam
got
got
first.
first. He must
They
have
got
dodged
a 1,
in
4,
a
5,
ghost.
6. Yeah, I thought that LMDS should have been a shoe-in for first. I saw LMDS dodging very far ahead in first for a time there, but
Well, I'm
Dame
hearing that
securing
Dam
first
redded
place.
LMDS on the line. That's really unfortunate for LMDS after dodging the other team's shock in first place with a star. Not
Yeah.
getting first that race.
And
is
that
just-
red coming in super huge for RE because they turned what could have been a 2-4-5-6 into a 1-4-5-6. Obviously, that is a 6-point swing. just off of the math of it. So that is a better race than it was looking at because they were able to take LMDS out.
Yeah, Requiem did win that race by 8, so I think they could have won the race either way, even if LMDS got first. But the fact that he got redded out on the line was super strong for Requiem there.
Yeah, and we saw Requiem was able to beat JPP at a game that they've been trying to play all morning, evening, wherever you are. But in the semis against RK, they were a dominant shock team. RK got a few shocks, but JPP just overwhelming them with the numbers. But this time, Requiem pulled it, and now they're heading into their running track.
And something I do want to mention, driving mistakes have completely disappeared from Dax's point of view. I think it really was just not being warmed up, and now that he's there, he is there, and he's driving really, really strong.
Yeah, definitely trying to make up. Didn't get the trick or the super bounce there, but still in 6th. Didn't get punished for that.
He didn't lose too much. Now he's able to maybe trail a JPP member. Yeah, gets the red off on one of them.
Yeah, I saw her getting taken out. I think I saw Les maybe got...
It's going to be 9, 10, 11 for Requiem. Actually,
Yeah.
bottom 4, because that's tricky in last. Wait, no, there's a Waluigi behind him. He was in a ghost. Could be either team in last.
Yeah, but at the... Still, I see Les, Toad, we have Daxx, I think Saru, and Tricky all the way back here. So this is seeming like a bit of a repeat of Wario Stadium. They might have a few of Requiem up there, but they got put into the back pretty fast there.
Blue's out. Looks like it's coming out for Falso, because I think that is Saru back here.
Also no longer in... Is that minimap lag?
Looks like it
I think
was. Yeah,
Waluigi
Waluigi's
took
getting
it.
hit by it.
Daxx being forced into his star by a red.
He is going to get Nors with it too, so
Les
pretty good
pulling
outcome for
triple
him.
reds behind him, so Daxx should be safe. Skartax maybe getting bumped off or falling off.
Nice back from Dayan.
Yeah,
2-3.
that was super good. Setting up a nice 2-3 for RE. Maybe they can change some reds here, try to get out Falso.
There is pressure on Daxx right now. Red's coming in. Hitting the banana, that's a really good play.
Shot coming out, I think that was definitely from Requiem. We see Les, Tricky, I think Saru too, all dodging.
Yeah, Daxx is in a really bad situation here. It got him before the glider. He didn't hit the glider, so now he's back in 11th with nothing.
Bottom 2 from Requiem, Daxx and Toad back here, but a blue is coming out for Falso. We're going to see Dam probably securing first here. No. Did Dam get hit too?
Could be some minimap lag. The Wario got first.
Was that
Interesting.
a bottom? That's a bottom. That was a lot of bottom spots for Requiem there. A bottom 4.
Top 2, bottom 4.
Yeah.
Wow. They needed the top 2 there because Requiem really had all the bottom spots that race, and they had it the entire race. Daxx was able to get up to the front at one point, but the shock just killed him. There was not much he could have done about that.
Yeah, we did see, I think, at least 3 or 4 of Requiem dodging. They kind of did not help Daxx or Toad very much, but I think that was just some of the last turn chaos of DKJ coming to bite Requiem there, because of the 4 people they had up there, 2 of them wound up in those bottom 4 spots.
Something I do want to mention about that race. Daxx running into the banana to dodge the red. This is something that I think a lot of people don't consider, myself included. We think about using bananas to dodge blues. People do that all the time. But using it to dodge a red is something that I honestly have not seen much at all. Reds hit for the same amount of time as a blue, so it's giving you the same benefit as doing that. So I think that was a really, really smart play from Daxx. Just unfortunate that the shot came right after it, so he wasn't really able to capitalize on it.
Yeah. One thing that did concern me about that play, though, was because he hit into that Nana, he had invincibility, and the red skipped him. The red actually was heading for his teammate Dam.
Oh no, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that red might have put a crimp in Dam's day, but the shot came out. Obviously, Dam was an invincibility frame, so the red didn't do too much for him. We're seeing a very interesting pick for Requiem here now. Going to Swamp Ruins, not something you see.
I honestly really like this pick. I enjoy when teams pick tracks that they bank on the other team not knowing. Obviously, Swamp Ruin's one of the least common tracks in the game. Just never see it picked.
Yeah, and looking in the back, see people back there already. It's interesting to see if there's going to be people hard going for shock on this track because of that glider and cut at the end or not.
One thing that does kind of concern me for Requiem, I know that LMDS either has or is very close to worldwide tops on this track. And you can see him in first right now. His lines are really strong here. So Requiem is going to need to hit him out if they want to get a good race here.
Yeah, at least one of that top two from Requiem is already in the bottom spots because I see Dayam. I think he's in 10th, now in 9th, and that did not work out for them if they were hoping for their top two to hold.
We got a bottom 2 for Requiem here. Daxx opting to stay back with Les. Actually, there is someone else back there. Yeah, Crunchy dropped back
JPP.
as well.
Les and a Bill.
Blue's out for LMDS.
Blue's out.
That's exactly what Requiem needs. Unless he can dodge this, that's going to really put
It looks like the Dry
Bowser
Bowser came up into first, actually. I don't know which one that might be, but the Dry Bowser actually dodged. I'm going to assume that was probably Falso, since that could have been a coordinated let Falso in the lead to dodge with Shroom play.
And it was Falso. We see Saru back here.
Yeah, so that's still a top two at the very least for JPP.
Yeah, really smart play from them. A lot of Requiem still on the back. I think it is Crunchy in last right now, but 10-11 for Requiem.
Yeah, probably a 9, 10, 11 for Requiem. I see Dayam there, and that's Toad, so that it's just looking that it might be another show where Requiem gets a ton of the bottom spots.
Top 4 JPP! Oh my gosh. So that track pick did not work out at all for Requiem.
Yeah, what we saw there was basically their top two just getting taken out so early. I think it was Dayam and Toad very early, and then you just had Falso and LMDS, very strong runners, able to establish themselves. The blue did not matter. They were able to dodge that. No shot came from Requiem, and it was just a JPP top 4.
Yeah, really good coordinated play with the blue from JPP. It allowed them both to stay up in the top, even though LMDS lost some time by dropping out. No one got hit by the blue. That's really strong for them.
That play is a little different from the TM blue that we saw, so making some steps to be a little bit better.
Yeah, they have an average of one player getting hit by a blue every time there's a blue.
And now Mount Wario for JPP. Super solid running track for them.
5th could pull a Shroom, but the top 4 presents from JPP could be able to hit that 5th place out either way.
Yeah, this is super scary if you're Requiem, obviously trying to get yourselves in a better position. Mount Wario is not really the track you want to do it on. Gonna be interesting to see. Requiem might just try to get a shock here because they have almost all of the bottom spots.
Daxx is going to pull a Shroom. Shroom up here, up into 5th. Getting kind of bumped.
Yeah, it actually looks like Dayam was able to invade. He's now in first place, and I think that's Tricky behind him. So the top 4 from JPP has turned into a top 2 from Requiem that fast.
Super strong. I think that comes down to the fact Mount Wario is really good if you can pull a Shroom first set.
Yeah, Daxx actually able to land the horn on LMDS. LMDS had a red, though. But
top 2-4 for Requiem. So yeah, really able to turn it on
Whoa!
its head. Oh!
That was a misplay by Tricky. Trying to slow down and red him, but Daxx is right behind him. You cannot be doing that.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate for Requiem. He's going to get hit by a green. Daxx down to 10th. Looks like Les is in 11th and some Waluigi in last.
Probably from JPP back there in last, but they just turned a top 2-4 from Requiem into maybe just Dayam alone up there, and
yeah, I think it is just Dayam up there.
I'm just not sure if that was coordinated or something he tried to do in the moment, but it was not worth it.
Yeah, it really backfired there. Got to be careful for these triple greens. Able to avoid it. Saru still has some.
Scartax might have actually starred the guy with triple greens there who was his teammate, but obviously the pack is super on top of each other. There's going to be a lot of hoping to survive here. Nor's with triple reds hitting Toad there.
Be careful
Dame's
with
still
this
in
red.
first.
Gonna hit
Looks,
Nor's with it. And
yeah,
Nor's
at
is done.
least, yeah, at the very least, I think we're going to be seeing Dame securing first like he has done a few tracks before.
Top
Just
2,
Tricky
6,
somehow being able to
7.
get up there.
Plus 10 race for Requiem, so they're minus 32. They really needed to win that race. That was super strong from them.
Yeah, obviously, somehow after that mix-up with Tricky, they were still able to have Dame hold that first place and get Tricky up there to get the top 2. Still a decent winning race for them. Uh, I don't think a blue came out there. A blue there could have been disastrous if it did happen, but thankfully Dame was just chilling in first. Not too much contested there.
Yeah, no, blue able to hold first, even though they lost that 2-4 in the middle of section 2. Able to pull out a good race in the end.
Yeah, and I think for the most part that is kind of how Mount Wario is as a track. It's pretty easy to hold first on after a certain point.
So this is the same track that really turned the tide of the war for JPP last time. It's going to be interesting to see if they can make the same thing happen here. Requiem's got to be super careful. Make sure that JPP doesn't pull a shock and isn't able to use it as effectively as they were last time.
And I know we've kind of kept repeating it in relation to JPP, but a huge part of their strategy on this track is to pull shock. I feel like almost why they're picking it is for that shock potential. So obviously there's going to be some bagging going on.
Yeah, Waluigi in last, not entirely sure who it is. I would assume it's JPP.
Yeah, and when they go back there, they definitely go back there. They do not care if they're getting last or not. They have one goal, and that goal is to get the shock. It's 1-3 from XI now. XI Requiem, rather. Yeah, I'm thinking about Daxx. Oops.
Oopsies. Gonna try to trail Hamano here.
Yeah,
not able to get the trail. Is able to get the trail. Him. There we go. Top 3 for Requiem. Gotta be careful with those triple greens.
There's a blue coming up now, so obviously unless Saru has a horn or something, he's going to be taken out, but they still have that 2-3, Daxx and Dame.
Yeah, Saru's getting blued. Still a top 3? Oh no, who is this? Oh, it was Nors!
I guess Nor's just taking the cut there and having double protection. He's going to let Dame by. Dame might be trying to go for the greens here on the glider. They're going to go faster. No.
Opts to hold it. I think he's trying to get a straight shot on him. Really wants to make sure that he does hit him.
He hit his protection there, and then Nor's opting to go onto the other path. I think he gets
Daxx is able to take him out.
Yeah.
I think that's top 3 for Requiem.
A red coming up, I think, on the other path. That is at least a top 2.
Gonna be able to take
here.
cut
Maybe
here.
he can trail him.
The red went for his teammate.
Yeah.
I don't think it hit him. I think that's 2-3 for Requiem.
Hit him, but that was a really interesting play there to go wide. I don't think he knew Falso had a horn, but that's still an amazing race for Requiem.
8 for Requiem. The shock just coming out too late for JPP to make much of a difference with it. It's minus 12 for Requiem. It's so close with 3 left.
Yeah, and I do not think that strategy worked out. No, obviously the shock coming a little bit too late there.
Yeah, they just didn't pull the shock when they need it. Requiem was able to keep those middle spots. They took cut at the end. Unfortunately for them, JPP still got first. Still a plus 20 race for Requiem, which is exactly what they needed.
And that was honestly well played by Daxx. I think he went wide. He went wide into that cut, expecting Falso to have something in his pocket to be dangerous, and he had that horn. So Daxx actually avoided getting horned after the cut there, and so did Dame, allowing them to just secure that 2-6, I believe.
Yeah, and I do have to commend that JPP member for getting first that race when the entire other team is behind you. Being able to hold first is super good.
Yeah, and obviously, if he had something other than a Shroom horn, that could have gone a wrong way. But he pulled what he pulled, and he optimized the throttle with it. So definitely fair play, securing that first place.
Alright, so we see Streetle Gang on Dolphin Shoals here.
Yeah, Daxx opting for the Streetle. I think a few other people on it as well.
Getting sent back to 11th already, just unfortunately getting hit at the beginning. Bottom 3 for Requiem already. Oh, and the banana after the coin, it was completely invisible.
Yeah, Daxx down here to 12th now. DS is kind of a comeback track in some ways. Shock being very potent, but also the bill. If you can pull a bill, there's several spots you can use it to extend, kind of catch up quicker. But I think just looking at this, he's going to spam his bill away, so I'm assuming he's going for Shock in this case. That is at least a bottom 2 from Requiem, not what they're wanting.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no point in using the bill extension on the end of lap 1. Because then you get up into the pack and, well, you're just in the pack and it's likely you're going to get hit out again. And
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, he pulls another bill, so he is going to be able to take the extension maybe at the beginning of lap 3. JPP in 10-12, though. He might want to stay back here.
Not sure what hit the guy in last. He's now very far back there. Just going to be opting to go for a Shock, I assume. I saw a blue come out. I'm not sure, but it looks like LMDS is at least in first. And Dayam, I see him, he might be in 9th, so not sure how the spots are panning out right now, but 2 of Requiem and Bills potentially.
Yeah, as expected, Daxx is going to take the bill extension. He should be back up in the pack by the end of this, and he's going to have a star in like 6th, which is really good for him.
It looks like this might actually be a top 4 from JPP. Maybe Toad is up there, but I saw everyone else from Requiem in this mid-pack as he was building up.
Oh, watch out for the fire. Les gets taken out!
Yeah.
This could be really strong. Oh, he gets hit off the glider. Too. This is so strong for JPP right now.
Yeah, whoever was using that fire, that definitely came in a huge factor for them.
Scar gets back on the line!
Yeah,
that's bottom 2 for JPP, but that's a lot of top spots for them.
Yeah, top 2, 4, 8, but Scar kind of getting killed on the line. I think I saw Scar go from like 6th to 11th there, and that nullified a little bit of the pain from that JPP top 2.
Right, it was a -6 race for Requiem, so JPP is going to be up 18 with 2 left.
Yeah, we're seeing a very similar situation to the RK War. I believe JPP was up 22 with 2 left in the RK War. So JPP looking to do what they've already done and just close a war out. This war is still close. Requiem did a good job of kind of clawing a little bit away from their lead, but they still have work to do, and they still have to break up a top 2 from JPP now.
Water Park coming out with, I think, LMDS in first. It's going to be really hard to get him out of there.
Yeah, obviously LMDS and Inward, a very strong runner and very technically advanced on tracks like Water Park. He's put a lot of time into them, and that time has paid off.
And again, we saw last war, JPP was really strong on the last 2 races. If they can do something similar here, could be a JPP win.
Yeah, obviously this is just going to be a running battle for Requiem. You want to take LMDS out as soon as possible.
Still in first as of now. I'm not sure if his teammate is in second still or not.
I think I saw Dayam was there for a time in second, but he got bumped wide, it looked like. I saw Saru just get trailed, so this might be a top 2 from JPP.
Yeah, that's Les in second, so it's top 2 JPP. And at this point, LMDS is in a super strong position. If he lost first,
I think I just saw Les and Dayam being taken out, but you still have Toad and Tricky there. I think it's maybe a 3-4 or 2-3 from Requiem. They're going to need
green
something.
Snipe! Oh, he lagged through it! Oh, that was such a good snipe.
Hamano just not taking it, but he has another shot. He gets Falso.
Got Falso.
The fire from Saru not hitting who he expected, and now triple nanas from Hamano.
Yeah, and LMDS is just broken away in first. This is exactly what we expect to see with an Inward like LMDS starting on first in Water Park. It's
obviously
just such a strong position to be in.
One of the strongest Water Park Inwards that exists. A shot coming out, it hit them before boxes. I'm really curious whose shock this was.
I feel like it had to be a JPP shock because obviously Skartax was just forced into his ghost. I don't think Daxx would allow that shock to be called if he was going to red Skartax with
Yeah,
a
that's
ghost.
true. And we now see Falso. He comes up in a star. A bomb Dax may be able to do something here. Nope, he takes a red. That is brutal.
I'm assuming that's Skartax in first, so a top 2 for JPP.
Yeah, Tricky coming up behind them, but if that is a top 2, then that is what JPP wanted out of that track pick. They wanted to keep LMDS in those top spots.
Top 2, 5, 6, 10, 11 for JPP. So war isn't over. JPP is plus 30. One race
Yeah.
left.
Once again, JPP kind of showing that they're very strong closers. They're getting the track that they wanted, and then they executed their game plan. They kept LMDS in that top spot.
Yeah, and the shock with Skartax able to dodge it, super good for them. So at this point, Requiem needs a really, really good race. They need plus 32 to win. A DC from JPP. Let's see what they're going to pick. This is really an important pick for JPP.
Yeah, something a little bit
Wait,
interesting.
They're all right. We're playing
I mean,
NBC.
I guess we're going to NBC. That's really interesting to me that with Skartax, if we recall back to the arcade war, Skartax was very far ahead at the end of NBC, and Skartax is in second. So all LMDS kind of has to do here is go a little bit wide and let Skartax by, and Skartax should be chilling for this race. I'm really curious as to why Requiem went NBC as well. Also, we see, I think, a DC from JPP as
That was a
well.
JPP DC.
And what's interesting about that was, if I remember back again to the arcade war, was there not a JPP DC for the last race too?
There might have been. Yeah, I think there was.
I'm almost wondering if that is a strategy that JPP might be doing. It's unlikely, but it is very weird to see them be 5 in the room twice for the last race.
There's no way that's a strategy. What benefit could that possibly give you?
I mean, you would have a spectator in the room, but it is just weird for me to see them being 5 once again.
Yeah, I think it's just a super unfortunate DC. Going for the green snipe isn't going to hit. He has triple bananas out in third. Damn's gone. Skartax in first.
Yep, that's what I was kind of expecting to see here. Skartax obviously able to secure first the last time he was on NBC, but now he has Daxx on his tail.
Oh, he banana snipes himself. Oh, I think he just forgot that the ceiling was there. You cannot be throwing things forward with the ceiling because it's just going to come right back down on you.
Yeah, he might have been trying to expect sort of a banana off the ceiling to not go right back down. Maybe he was trying to hope it would bounce forward and get Skartax, but it does not work like that, and it did not work out.
And it's a bottom 2 for Requiem here. They need a shock, otherwise this war is over.
Yeah, and, kind of expected. We see Skartax so far ahead once again, using all of his running prowess.
One of the dry Bowsers is in second. Don't know who it is.
It could be either of them, but I'm going to... Whoa!
Whoa! He just dodged with a shock.
Yeah, he has a shock too now. That could be huge. He uses it again.
This is gigantic for Requiem.
If Requiem can make it happen, they need to take these guys out quickly. They need to pass them. They need to be taken cut. I'm going to assume that this is a
Skartax is down to
4
fifth.
from Requiem, maybe. He has to take Skartax out. A bomb comes out.
Is this top 5?
Is this top 5 from Requiem?
Are they going to do it?
I don't think so. I think Les is too far back. That might have been a top 5 from
They only
Requiem,
needed
though.
plus 30.
Top
Requiem
5,
wins.
Is that a win? That
Requiem
is a win.
wins.
The double shock for the win on
That was a
DNBC.
plus 36 race. Requiem wins by 6. That is
pulled it out.
insane. Oh my god.
That was a miracle right there in the making, and they pulled it off with the double shock.
Double shock in a 6v5 versus JPP last race. Oh my gosh. I did not expect that to happen at all. That is just incredible from Requiem.
You could almost write off Requiem at the middle of that race because Skartax was so far ahead and it seemed bleak. But Skartax being so far ahead allowed Requiem to pull those shocks. they pulled two, they coordinated it perfectly, and they got what they needed.
That was, oh my gosh. I thought JPP won that war. Race 10, I thought
Yeah.
JPP won that war. That was just insane from Requiem. I have to commend them for that. Like, you need a little bit of luck to pull two shocks in one race, but using it that effectively, getting rid of Scartax that far ahead in first, just incredible. That shows why they were D1 runner-ups.
Yeah, and that bomb on Scartax almost secured that top five. They had Daxx in the star, and they just threw that back, knowing that Daxx could survive and that would take them out, and it worked perfectly. Only having five players, I don't think it could have come back to bite JPP. I don't think we can say anything because obviously the double shock play is huge, but having that bot basically a guaranteed last, and then to lose by only about 6 points. You almost wonder.
Yeah, that was just an insane finish. I'm going to remember that last race for a long time. That was
Yeah, super
just
glad to have
crazy.
watched that live. That was amazing gameplay. Obviously, the shock and then Dax dodging and pulling out that shock. I was a little bit surprised that they opted to use the shock immediately after. I was wondering if they were going to try for something else, but they just chained the dodges. They dodged the first shock and then dodged the second shock. They're those same players, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, they had to get Scartax out of there as soon as possible. I think some of Requiem were still in the same dodges that they dodged the first shock with. Super smart play from them.
Yeah, that was just what they needed to have happen, and they did it. They pulled off a miracle, and that was just so fun to watch. But obviously, props to JPP playing super strong. They just what can you do in that situation if you're JPP? They had first basically secured, but just the perfect optimal double shot gameplay from Requiem, clawing back and getting that huge last race to secure a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't go anywhere. We're about to see Requiem versus HD in the winners finals. It's going to be hype. I hope to see you there. Hopefully as hype as this last race
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Just incredible ending. Yeah, we'll see you then.
Yeah, obviously, Requiem now having to come back against HD, and that's going to be occurring at the hour.
We
I
are going to
really
be resetting the
appreciate.
cast, so expect that. It's not this cast going weird. We're doing it on purpose. Yeah.
Hmm.
See you at the hour.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching.